Hello and welcome back to JBCTR, where today you join me for part 2 of my stereo install on the GR YARIS. Now, if you didn't catch part 1, I highly recommend you sort of scoot back, because that's where we lay out what it is that we're doing today. We also fit the DSP crossover and configure its inputs and also the rear speakers. So I highly recommend checking out part 1 before we move into part 2. Now for today, we're going to be installing the woofers in the front doors, the tweeters in the front A-pillars, and then we're going to configure the outputs of the DSP amp, which is the exciting bit. Okay, so today we're just going to jump straight into it because I just want to get cracking really. So I've already removed the door cards, and if you need to know how to do this, I've done a dedicated how-to. I'll pop a link up in the corner. And next up, we just need to remove the stock woofers and we can start fabricating our custom mounts. Right, so that is the first speaker out of the car, and just like the rears, they're very, very light with a tiny magnet, and I think this is going to be a huge upgrade. But comparing this with the new Audison Voce speaker, the Voce speaker is actually a little bit deeper than this entire assembly, so we're going to have to be very careful with the window coming down. Now, after a bit of careful measuring, I've worked out that I think I need 3 of my 1200 rings to bring it out enough that it doesn't catch on the window, but also doesn't protrude into the door card. So I'll have to create 3 separate speaker rings, a base one to attach it to the door, and then 2 more to build it out, and then we should be good. So let's get cutting.
My mate, you made a permanent home in my head. You moving like a goddess, come my way, my way, my way. Your hips on the move, only a real one can do what you do. I caught a body, but you was the shooter. Damn. Shot me down one time. Now you wanna hug me down long time. Funny how the love can change sometimes. So we say, hey, pack up a bago. I'm pulling up on you. Let me show you my world. She told me that I make her feel alive. I can see the goodness in your eyes.
Fine, so we have it. There are both mounts cut out, made, and now being glued. And I'm not gonna lie, cutting 6 rings out took me a little while. I probably wouldn't recommend this weird tool spinny thing. Probably good on plasterboard for putting lights in and stuff. And apparently it works on wood, but what they don't tell you is it's horrendously dangerous, because when it digs in, the drill yanks, and then yeah, it's not great. So as you would have seen in that montage, I use this for sort of scoring the first half of the circles to give me a perfect circle, and then it was really easy to follow them with the jigsaw, and then I got some nice rings. So yeah, probably wouldn't rush to buy one of these because they're pretty dangerous. But yeah, so next step is we're going to carry on with the wiring in the car and the dynamating of the doors whilst this is in its clamps and drying, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Right then, sound deadening. We're doing something a little bit different on the fronts to what we did on the rear, and that's because we've got some pretty powerful woofers going in the front, and I don't want the doors to rattle. So instead of using the fast rings back blast thing which we used on the rears, we've got this kind of like egg cone type stuff, and what that's going to do is we'll push it through the hole, or probably going through here actually, and it will sit behind the speaker, so any sound waves going backwards towards the outside of the car, which you kind of don't really want, this should eliminate and not make the door rattle. We also got the Dynamat sheets that we used in the back, but instead of splitting one sheet between the two, I've got a whole sheet for each door, so there'll be loads of Dynamat on each side. And interestingly, this is kind of a new development since I last did a car install, and these are fast rings, I believe they're called. And essentially this one will be cut in half, and then this will go on between the mount and the skin of the car, and that will then basically fill any voids between my piece of wood and this skin, which stops any sound waves going out sideways and that kind of stuff. But this one I think is the one that will make the most difference. So this goes on the front of the speaker, so your speaker will be here facing out, and essentially it forces the sound waves to go through the grille and then not up into the sound card and kind of cause rattles and wasted. So these are quite interesting, and I'm quite intrigued to see how effective they are. But yeah, so right, let's get that lot on and we can get cracking. And there we have it, that is both doors now deadened, and as you can tell when I shut the door, it's more of a dull thud now as opposed to a clang, whereas previously there was no deadening in the door at all. And you can really tell a difference if you tap on the paintwork, so have a listen to this. Now, as my speaker rings are still drying, we're going to crack on with the wiring next. So we've got to run wires to both the doors and to the A-pillars, and then we'll be ready to put some speakers in. And talking of cabling, we're actually going to be using a slightly thicker cable in the front here. So this is a 14 gauge speaker cable, whereas in the rear we ran 16 gauge. And the reason for that is mainly to save money. But secondly, because I'm expecting the fronts to be doing most of the work, so I want to give them ample cable to do that. And yeah, this seems to fit the bill nicely. Now, I'm not going to lie, that's probably the most difficult part of wiring these, and that is getting the wire through the standard rubber grommet into the car. And I did that by attaching a cable tie with the sort of locky bit cut off to some harness wire to the actual wire, and now it's through. All we've got to do is cut it off and we have our wire. Oh, that was an ordeal. Right, so as I've been rained off, I mean the wiring is so nearly done, which is very frustrating. But I thought I'd come in and I'd make a start on the A-pillars. Now this is the bit that I really wasn't sure about, because as I said, I wanted to keep everything OEM, I wanted to keep it reversible, but I just don't know how I can do this whilst keeping it reversible. I mean, if I put the tweeter on the inside, I'd still have to Dremel off this little holder here, and if I've got to do that, then it's not reversible anyway. So I'm going to go whole hog on these, and I'm going to basically just cut a hole in there and surface mount the new tweeter, which I think should look okay. And then in the future I might even look to do like a fiberglass pod or maybe something a little bit more fancy, but just for today, to get it in, we'll do a nice little surface mount tweeter there. And the reason that I decided that I could do that is that A-pillars are actually readily available from Toyota, and they're not mega money either, which is pretty good and nice to know. So I'll probably pick up a set anyway after I've done this, just in case I do need to reverse it, and then just pop a new set in. Now, the way I'm going to go about this is tape up the existing grills so that my drill doesn't wander, and that I can actually make a sort of decision as to where I want the tweeter on the grill, and I can mark it out, that kind of stuff. And I've actually done a test fit on a piece of wood, and with this whole bit, this sits in there quite nicely. It will be a compression fit, but that seems to fit quite nicely. I've only got one go on this, so wish me luck. Well, there we have it. 2 A-pillars done, and I must admit that is by far the worst job of this entire build. Very nerve-wracking. I mean, yeah, when that drill went in, it looks bloody horrible. I thought I'd ruined it on both of them, but it turned out alright. The compression fit is really tight. So what I think I'll do is I will hook a bullet connector up to these two tweeters, so that when you remove the A panels in future, you just got to unplug the tweeter, which is kind of no different to stock really. So yeah, now I just need this rain to stop and I can actually get the car finished. Now at the point that I was about to get it all connected up and actually see if it was working, I got rained off for like 2 days, which is very frustrating. So today we're actually going to get it turned on. So there we have it, one DIY stereo install on a GI Yaris. So to recap, what we've installed, sort of middle of the price range Audison Prima coaxial speakers in the rear, just to sort of keep that surround sound feel going. And up the front, we've got some Audison Voce, which are kind of like their kind of premium range woofers in the doors with their tweeters, and then we've done all the sound deadening and everything like that. And the whole system is powered by the Audison APF 8.9-bit processor and audio amplifier. It's quite a long description of what's gone in, and I'd love to give you a montage of how great it looks. But actually, there isn't much to see. Other than the tweeters, the car looks completely stock, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. In terms of how it sounds, I did a bit of a recording of the stock system, and then I've also done a recording of this system, but I've not yet equalised it, so it still sounds a little bit flat, but even so, I think it still sounds a whole lot better. Now, I know it's hard to hear the difference to a camera microphone, but I couldn't finish this video without showing you what it sounds like after the DSP had been dialed in. It makes such a huge difference. Now my other objective for this stereo build was to keep it in keeping with the whole GR YARIS thing, i.e. keep it light. So I've actually weighed, you may have seen in the montages, I've weighed everything that's come out and I've weighed everything that's gone in, so I can get an idea for exactly how much has gone in to my car. So scores on the doors are, we took 1.9 kilograms out of the car, we put in 10.5 kilograms, which means total weight gain of upgrading the stereo is 8 kilos. And I must admit, I think that is absolutely negligible, and for the advantage you get of owning one of these and having decent sound, I genuinely think that 8 kilos is 100% worth it. So yeah, I'm very pleased, and now I just need to go and tune it well enough so I don't have to invest in a sub, because that will ruin my weight. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this little 2-part series of getting some stereo stuff in a YARIS, and well, if you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, the YARIS and other car content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.
There goes a sight from my soul.